semantics. And as I said, logorrhea and gaslighting is phenomenal with this government. Instead of telling us that, listen, apart from the monies that were withdrawn from the Heritage and Celebration Fund, over $1 billion and counting, we are not sure, but we have a figure. Apart from the $1 billion that was withdrawn, there is X amount there now equal to what we met in 2015. No, they didn't say it so. Yeah, what I'm tell you. Deliberate to deceive. And if you are not circumspect, and if you are not perspicacious, you will be deceived. Because it was all about giving them unmeritorious credit for something that they are undeserving. Imbert told us that the Heritage and Celebration Fund is back at the same level where they met it in 2015. Full stop. Full stop. Built into that statement, if you are unsuspecting or you are an ignoramus, you would see that it suggests, one, that nothing was taken out. That's the first thing. Two, that the Heritage and Celebration Fund is somehow has been increased at the same time because they had something to do with it. The government had something to do with it. Nothing could be. To try to generate this innuendo, this misleading statement, when he had an obligation and on the basis of transparency and accountability to tell the population, listen, if it is now back up to where we met it in 2015, but if we did not take out that $1 billion, it would have had an additional $1 billion. But right now, the Heritage and Celebration Fund is short of $1 billion. That is the kind of conversation I would expect from a minister and a government official if they are sincere about what transparency and accountability is in a democracy. That is what I expect. Total transparency, explanation. But no, want to fool you to make you believe that somehow they did something, nothing at all, because the fund has a built-in mechanism to investment across the globe to generate its own revenue and its own, therefore, profits in the process. Understand that. Something like, of course, the unit trust. They take your money and they invest it in stocks and bonds and shares and so on across the globe, but of course with some degree of due diligence and prudency. They would have had, of course, hired somebody to do that abroad to manage their portfolio, so to speak. And the profit from that, the gains from that, whether it's dividend as the case may be, it is then, of course, put with what they have in reserve or in stock, and then pay out to you, the investor, at the appropriate time based on the various packages or the various financial mechanisms and financial benefits or financial creations by the by these by this particular entity. Well, of course, it's the same thing as far as the Heritage and Civilization Fund is concerned. Yes. I just want to make sure that you understand that. So any one of them tells you that we are doing well, that they are responsible for this and that, you need to always throw your mind back to the reserves and the Heritage and Civilization Fund. And if they cannot show you that they have put money there, then it means, therefore, they are trying to, as Rowley would say, blindside you. They're trying to catch you by surprise. They're trying to ambush you. Right, people? So I thought it was important, of course, to raise these issues with this opportunity that has been presented. Let me just reiterate that there are some technical issues that we are resolving. And of course, the time check is just about 8:30. We have 30 minutes again, in essence. I'm sure that all and sundry are working feverishly to solve this problem. In the meantime, of course, it's my duty to speak and to speak to you. Having regard to some of the developments, I know that I said that I'm a bit tired, a bit exhausted with all of the developments moving at phonetics. And of course, I wouldn't consider myself to be a spring chicken. So therefore, it means therefore I have to make certain that I have some reserves and all this work. And I want to tell you as well that I went and take a rest about 7 o'clock or before that. Got up. Yes, yesterday, 12 o'clock, just before 12. So it would have been, yes, yesterday. I have not yet closed my eyes since after that. So you'll appreciate what I'm talking about. So as I said, I will be reducing the time and my body, no doubt, will also be pleased, equally pleased. And I may well do something tonight having regard to the challenges today. I don't want one moment to pass and we are unable to work optimally to bring information to you and for you to share information with us, because we don't claim to be the repository of all information, and we do not claim to be omniscient, that is to say, all-knowing, and therefore, this is a symbiotic relationship, meaning that we exist for our mutual benefits. Symbiotic. And so, when issues like this pop up, we need to find ways and means as quickly as possible, as expeditiously as possible, in order to treat with it, because the enemy is lurking, we know. And whether the enemy is visible or invisible, as we said with respect, of course, to the claim by this administration that they don't interfere with police work, etc. But I heard yesterday when Hines, of course, made his statement that the police officer, I think it is, of course, Deputy Commissioner of Police or Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, whichever capacity, can't remember his name now. But he said distinctly And I am now quoting him that they are pursuing a program devised by themselves and the Prime Minister. Let me repeat, and go and check it. Do not take my word for it. It cannot be a slip of the tongue. It cannot be a Freudian slip. But it's what is real. That Rowley Day and, of course, Hines will want to hide from us. And the mere fact that he, the acting or deputy commissioner of police, was there with a politician, in spite of the fact that he may be the national security minister, and does not have any responsibility association except that he was a police for operational matters, one would have expected, if only to demonstrate the principle of separation, distancing, and non-influence one way or another, or the overlapping